Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the IDF remains on a heightened state of alert ahead of a pledged attack by Iran and its regional proxies at targets throughout Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken asserts that Iran and Israel have been messaged directly with demands for de-escalation. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah asserts that the Iran-led Axis must do everything in its power to frustrate Israel's efforts to eradicate Hamas. The IDF remains on a heightened state of alert ahead of pledged attacks by Iran and its regional proxies, including by means of precision-guided munitions at targets throughout Israel. Senior Israeli officials assessed that Iran and Hezbollah may mount separate waves of attacks, which will force the Israeli public to spend several hours in bomb shelters. In any event, Israeli officials have acknowledged that Jerusalem has taken a decision to respond to any attack by Iran and its proxies. Meanwhile, speaking to a group of Israeli Air Force pilots, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant urged them to further prepare for a range of unforeseen scenarios.
קודם כל יום שעובר, אנחנו משפרים את המוכנות שלנו, גם בהגנה וגם בהתקפה. והדבר הזה צריך להשתמש בו כאילו כל דבר שקורה, קורה בעוד יום או בעוד כמה שעות. כלומר, להתייחס לדברים במידה של דחיפות, כמובן, עם כל מה שקשור ליסודיות ולבטיחות וכל הדברים האחרים. אבל כשהדברים קורים, הם לא בהכרח צפויים. ולכן, המסר הראשון שלי אליכם זה צבירת יכולות, הגנה והתקפה בכל התחומים.
Israel's top defense official went on to highlight the extensive activities related to deepening cooperation with the United States and the scope and nature of the relationship between Jerusalem and Washington.
אני עוסק ביממות האחרונות בתאום. אתמול פגשתי ביחד עם הרמטכ"ל את מפקד צנטקום, הגנרל קורילה. בסופו של דבר הוא מנצח על המערכה הזאת ביחד עם הרבה שותפים, וישראל היא מרכיב עיקרי כמובן, אבל יש פה אמריקאים ואחרים, והם רתומים. כל הלילה עשיתי שיחות עם אוסטין שנכנס ויצא מנשיא ארצות הברית, ועם אחרים בתוך הממשל האמריקאי. יש להם רצון גדול לעזור לנו ולסייע ולעבוד ביחד, והשיתוף פעולה הזה הוא מרכיב קריטי בכל הכנה.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant further seized the opportunity to commend the IDF, including the Israeli Air Force in particular, for their demonstrated capabilities and determination to strike hard at the enemies of Jerusalem.
כשאני מסתכל מה אתם עשיתם, אתם מבחינתי זה צה"ל, חיל האוויר, קרקע ואוויר וכל האינטגרציה כולה. רק בחודש יולי. אני מסתכל מה עשיתם רק בחודש יולי. אז הייתה תקיפה מרשימה ומוצלחת בנמל חודיידה. אחרי חודשים שהם יורים עלינו טקקים, תלשים, כטב"מים וטיסנים. חיסלתם את רמטכ"ל החמאס, מוחמד דף, ביחד עם רפה סלאמה, מח"ט ח'אן יונס בח'אן יונס. אחרי שהרגו לנו 12 ילדים במג'ד אל-שמס, חיסלתם את מוחסן, הרמטכ"ל של חיזבאללה ויד ימינו של נסראללה. כל זה על מודיעין מאוד מאוד מדויק ואיכויות ביצוע גבוהות.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, for his part, traveled to the IDF's primary induction base, during the course of which he addressed the heightened tensions related to Iran's pledge to strike at Israel.
אני נמצא עכשיו בבסיס קליטה ומיון עם חיילים שהתגייסו היום לשריון ולהנדסה קרבית. נאחל לכם הצלחה גדולה מאוד, שמרו אחד על השני ושמרו על המדינה שלנו. אנחנו ממשיכים קדימה לניצחון. אני יודע שאזרחי ישראל נמצאים בדריכות, אני מבקש מכם דבר אחד, לשמור על אורך רוח וקור רוח. אנחנו ערוכים הן להגנה והן להתקפה. אנחנו מכים באויבינו ונחושים גם להגן על עצמנו.
Meanwhile, in the United States, in a joint press conference with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, alongside visiting Australia's Defense Minister Richard Marles and Foreign Minister Penny Wong, Secretary of State Antony Blinken asserted that the United States had relayed direct messages to both Iran and Israel, among others, stressing the crucial need to de-escalate.
We continue to work intensely to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East and to prevent the spread of conflict. Over the past few days, we've been in constant contact with partners in the region and well beyond. In those conversations, we've heard a clear consensus. No one should escalate this conflict. We've been engaged in intense diplomacy with allies and partners, communicating that message directly to Iran. We communicated that message directly to Israel. Our commitment to Israel's security is ironclad. We will continue to defend Israel against attacks from terrorist groups or their sponsors, just as we'll continue to defend our troops. But everyone in the region should understand that further attacks only perpetuate conflict, instability, insecurity for everyone. And further attacks only raise the risk of dangerous outcomes that no one can predict and no one can fully control. It's urgent that everyone in the region take stock of the situation, understand the risk of miscalculation, and make decisions that will calm tensions, not exacerbate them. That's particularly true given the decisive moment that we're at in the ceasefire negotiations in Gaza. President Biden spoke today to President al-Sisi of Egypt and to Emir Tamim of Qatar. These are the two countries that, along with the United States, are mediating negotiations to reach a ceasefire, to get the release of hostages. As the leaders discussed, the negotiations have now reached a final stage, and they agreed on the urgency of bringing this process to closure. Concluding that agreement and avoiding any action that could somehow disrupt it is the only path to ending the conflict in Gaza and bringing calm to the region. It's critical that all parties work to finalize an agreement as soon as possible.
It is important to know that while the United States seemingly works tirelessly to de-escalate via diplomatic channels, Iran and its proxies continue to voice repeated threats over their anticipated attack. Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah, in a memorial ceremony commemorating his top commander Fuad Shukr, also known as Said Mohsen, who was killed in a targeted Israeli strike last week, pledged reprisal.
بعد اغتيال الشهيد القائد سيد فؤاد، حزب الله أيضا يرى نفسه ملزما بالرد، وإيران سترد وحزب الله سيرد، والعدو ينتظر ويترقب ويحسب كل صيحة عليه يحسبها هي الرد.
With hundreds of Hezbollah terror operatives killed since the Iranian proxy joined the war against Israel on the 8th of October of 2023, Nasrallah sought to explain the importance of Hezbollah's war with Israel, stressing that if Israel succeeds in eradicating Hamas, as is one of its key objectives to the current war in the Gaza Strip, it would constitute a devastating blow to the Iran-led Axis throughout the region.
المنطقة اليوم أمام مخاطر حقيقية. الكل يجب أن يفهم أبعاد المعركة الحالية ومخاطرها. أن يفهم مخاطرها على فلسطين. هدف هذه المعركة منع إسرائيل من الانتصار. منع إسرائيل من القضاء على المقاومة الفلسطينية. منع إسرائيل من القضاء على القضية الفلسطينية المهددة. هذا يجب أن يكون هدف، لأنها لو وفقت إسرائيل في هذا الهدف كل المنطقة كما ذكرت قبل قليل ستكون في خطر.
It is important to note that the IDF does intend to act preemptively to prevent Hezbollah rocket and missile fire by striking at launchers if it comes to possess advanced intelligence about Hezbollah plans to attack. However, Israel is also preparing for a scenario in which it does not have advanced intelligence about a planned Hezbollah attack. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. It is important for us to highlight that TV7 Israel is a 100% donation-based nonprofit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by our productions and would like to help support all of our programs, including TV7 Israel News, Jerusalem Studio, and others, we would deeply appreciate it if you'd consider making a donation. You can do so by visiting our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you as ever, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Mevorach Vebatuach, and God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.